The gentlelady from the District of Columbia, Representative Norton, is now recognized.
Madam Chair, the Republican resolution is about achieving a specific goal: hurting President Joe Biden and helping former President Trump if he decides to run for office again. Don't take my word for it. On August 4th, committee member Jim Jordan spoke at CPAC and said probes into Hunter Biden would, and here I'm quoting, frame up the 2024 race when I hope and I think President Trump is going to run again. And we need to make sure that he wins, end quote. Ranking Member Comer appeared on Fox News on August 28th and joined and in a discussion about Hunter Biden said, and here I'm quoting again, Joe Biden's gonna have a lot of problems, and you're gonna see a Republican Congress that's gonna be eager to try to impeach Joe Biden, end quote. This isn't oversight. This is a smear campaign. Even Donald Trump knows that this Hunter Biden obsession is all about helping him. Back in March, after Russia had invaded Ukraine, he asked Russian President Vladimir Putin to release dirt on Hunter Biden, saying, and I'm quoting, I would think Putin would know the answer to that. I think he should release it, end quote. This investigation is about promoting former President Trump and hurting President Biden. It's pure politics. I urge my colleagues to oppose the resolution.
Would my friend yield for a question?
I'd be happy to yield.
Is it my recollection that this obsession goes back with President Trump personally, in which he had a notorious phone call, which he characterized as a perfect phone call, with now President Zelensky of Ukraine, in which he told him, essentially, I'm going to hold up military equipment to help you defend your country until and unless I get your cooperation on finding dirt about Hunter Biden? Do I recall that correctly?
I think your memory is correct.
I thank the gentlelady.
Would Mr. Connolly yield to a question?
She controls time.
Would the lady yield to Mr. Connolly to answer a question?
I yield to Mr. Comer.
So, in your comparison with President Trump's phone call to Lewinsky, what's the difference in Joe Biden changing the rules on suspicious activity report when under President Trump, President Obama, and President George W. Bush, any of us could request those suspicious activity reports? Joe Biden changed rules, and later we find out, oh, his son had 150 suspicious activity reports. This is the bank, different banks, notifying the Treasury Department that we're pretty confident our client has committed a crime.
I would urge my friend to reclaim her time.
Reclaiming my time.
Would you yield?
And I yield to my
I thank my
Mr.
friend.
Connolly.
I would just say, you know, it's interesting that we're listening to things cloaked in self-righteousness. And you mentioned, Mr. Comer, actually a national security concern here. That's interesting, because I don't remember any Republican expressing any concern when the President, Trump, gave a national security clearance to his son-in-law that he otherwise did not qualify for, in fact, was denied. Where was the concern about national security then? And, oh, by the way, that raised lots of issues about how security clearances were being handled in the White House. We're now fighting the first major ground war in Europe since World War II. And that conversation Mr. Trump had with President Zelensky is seen in an even starker coloration and a more menacing and dangerous one. And if we're going to start with investigations, let's start with that. I yield back to my friend. Thank you.
The gentlelady yields back her